I have I have always enjoyed reading, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't used to read as much as I should have. Besides being a great way to escape and unwind, reading increases your knowledge, focus, and worldwide views. As a business owner, it also gives you something interesting to talk about when you are networking. In short, reading is, but that's not the concern. The biggest problem is actually finding time to read more books. I was able to accomplish this by using the following 25 tricks. First, don't make towering reading books. If you are not a voracious reader, then don't commit yourself to reading more books than you can handle. In other words, don't set lofty goals that you probably can't achieve. Start by setting reading goal that is easily attainable, such as reading just one book per month or 20 pages a day. If you are already breezing through a book in a month, then jump up to 2. When you are not committing, you will find the reading experience is less stressful and more enjoyable. I have found a really interesting thing. If your reading is not stressful, you will be able to concentrate and read really fast. Second, keep your goal to yourself. Now that you have a set ready reading goal, make sure that keep to yourself. A 2009 study found that students who wrote down the activity that it would be take for them to become psychologists were less likely to succeed, and they were only sharing those activities and goals with experimenter. Who do you share your goal with? The control group, who did not share this goal with the experimenter, actually spent more time pursuing those activities. The reason, whenever a goal is shared, there's less motivation for you to work hard in achieving that intended goal. So if you want to read 2 books per month, keep that goal to yourself. 3. Quit early. I am sure you have been halfway through a book and ask yourself why I am reading this. Don't worry, it happened to the best of us, but instead of trying to power through a book that you are not enjoying or finding useful, you should just put it down and start reading something else. Gretchen Rubin, author of best-selling book The Happiness Project, has found that the winner don't quit mentally isn't an effective mentality when it comes to reading. Rubin explained that quitting early gives you more time for reading good books, less time reading books out of a sense of obligation. Read books that you actually enjoy. The piggybacks the piggybacks on the previous point, but when you read books that you actually want to read, you will find it more difficult to put it down. For example, I am a big Stephen King fan. Is reading The Dark Tower stressing going to make me a better entrepreneur or father? No, but I enjoy reading and become so immersed that I have to keep reading. Wait a minute, who can actually judge whether reading The Dark Tower series helped me or not? Maybe it does make me a better entrepreneur. Stay tuned for the later comment about that. At the same time, I also mix it up, not just Stevie Boy King for me. I will read biographies or books focused on leadership. Even though they may help me professionally, I still enjoy reading them. Fifth, I always have a book on hand. You will always have an opportunity to read. You will read on your morning commute. Well, I book if you are driving. There is time when waiting at the doctor office or wasting a couple of minutes before a meeting or conference hall. I find I can bear the line at the grocery store much better with a book while the guy at checkout looks for his card. Instead of letting this time go unused, pick up a book and start reading. The only way you can take advantage of such time is if you have a book on hand. That's why I am always carry a book with me, and thanks to gadgets like Kindle, this is even more convenient. Sixth, borrow reading time from something less important. I got it. The thought of reading for 2 or 3 hours a day may seem like a serious time commitment, but if you borrow time from something else, you will realize that it's really pretty easy to devote more time to reading. For example, do you know that the average American spends 5 hours every day watching TV? If you fall into that category, then reduce your TV watching to 2 hours per day and spend the other 3 hours reading. Try reading first, then TV. The other way around doesn't work quite as well. 7th, partake in reading challenge. This is an excellent way to encourage you to read more books because it's fun and interactive. For example, Goodreads has an annual challenge reading that gamify your reading goals. You can also discover new books to read by seeing what your friends have read. You can find a list of reading challenge compiled by Book Riot. Create a distraction-free reading environment. Some distraction you can't avoid, like when your Amazon Prime delivery gets dropped off and your dog goes nuts, but there are plenty of the distraction that you don't have control over. Start by reading in a room that is quiet and doesn't have temptation like a TV. You could also turn your phone on silent and airplane mode for a certain amount of time. Ninth, stock up. Instead of dropping 200 or $300 on clothes or junk food that you don't really need when you have some extra cash, build up an inventory of books. It may sound ridiculous at first, but it's one of the best motivation to read more because once you finish a book, you can view your inventory and decide what to read next. 10th, use technology to your advantage. Personally, I love physical book. Nothing beats the smell and texture of an actual book in your hand, and studies have found that reading print leads to better comprehension and retention compared to computer screen. But sometimes carrying a book around isn't easy for convenience. Today you mm, can read a book on your iPad or Kindle while traveling, even listening to an audiobook through Audible or iBook, whatever, while working out. In short, using technology gives you more opportunity to digest even more books throughout the year. 11. Change your mindset. The key to reading lots of books begins with stop thinking of it as some activity that you do. Write media strategy and author Ryan Holiday. Reading must become as natural as eating, as breathing to you. It's not something you do because you feel like it, but because it's relaxed at default. 12th, scheme. This applies more to reading in newspaper, magazine or online content. But when it comes to reading for leisure, don't be afraid to skim books. It helps you get through the book faster so that you can move on the next one. 13. Read multiple books. This strategy may not work for everyone, but I have several different books in different locations, including in my bedroom, another downstairs on my iPad and another on my phone. For when I am driving, I always have a book on hand. Having a variety of books reading at once is challenge and keeps me from getting bored. It also helps to mix up the multiple books that you are reading. It might be a Stephen King novel, but also a biography of an entrepreneur like Elon Musk. 14. Keep your eyes open. I am always on the lookout for new books to read. The bookstore always has suggestions. Browsing bestseller list online, I usually find the best read while looking for suggestions from blog post or friend. When I come across new books that look interesting, I write it down either in my notebook or on every note so that I won't forget about it. 15. Commit to reading when traveling for before bed. Traveling is the best time to read. Think about all the free time that you have while waiting to catch your flight, and while you are in air. You may actually be able to finish an entire book while traveling. Note: make sure to download the full book before you leave. Besides, you don't have worry about turning off your device or paying for Wi-Fi. When you don't travel, make it a point to read right before you go to bed. Use this choice as opposed to watching TV, browsing your social channel, Not only will you read more, you will also sleep better. Eliminate decision fatigue. Yes, decision fatigue is an actual thing that can prevent you from being productive and adopting habits like reading instead of aimlessly searching for thousands and thousands of new books releases. Search for curated list. Entrepreneurs like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg put out pretty good reading list. Any list helps to eliminate decision fatigue and give you more reading time. Settle down. When your mind is preoccupied and racing a mile a minute, it's challenging to sit down and actually enjoy a book. After all, you have deadlines to meet, clients to invoice, or dishes to clean. I try to complete these nagging tasks prior to reading so that they are not bothering me. I have also found that exercising and meditating definitely helps put my mind at ease. Share what you read. Remember, don't share your reading goals, but definitely share the books you have read. It become a part of entire reading process since I am passing along the information or insight that I have just read, and as an added perk I get new recommendation from people. Someone will say, well, if you like that, then you should check out this book next. Have you next book on standby? Throughout this article I have shared some tips of building an inventory of future books in order to eliminate decision fatigue. But you are probably still left with dozens of books to choose from. Whenever I am about to finish, I take a couple of minutes and select the next book to read. I then jump from one book into another immediately. Set a dedicated reading time. This helps me make reading a habit for me. I always set aside 20 to 30 minutes in the morning before every wake up. This prevents distraction. The 20-30 minutes before I go to bed are most favorite moment. I read more throughout the day, but since some days are more hectic and others, that's not always guaranteed. Having dedicated reading time at least ensure that I am reading around at least an hour every day. Thank you. Subscribe my channel, like my videos.